Welcome back to Deconstructing the Game, folks. This is Ryan. Now, this is another one of my bucket list videos, not really a theory or a strange discovery within the game, but more just something that people have asked about and I wanted to show off in more detail. And that is the Megabuildings and the interior or lack thereof in every single one of them. So I guess we'll call this the Megabuilding video. Let's get to it. All but 3 of the Megabuildings have no interior whatsoever. They just have pieces of the exterior parts sticking through from the outside. So I just made a quick little montage of disappointment here for you just to show that I did explore them all. Besides the building that V lives in, Megabuilding H10, there are 2 others that have interiors because you go up to a room in each of these within the game. And that is H8 and H6. Now, this is H8, and interestingly, most of the building is a lower detail carbon copy of V's building, mainly the top parts. But this lower floor that you can see from the elevators is a little bit different in each of these. Now, for example, in this one, there's just a random homeless guy and a non-functional vendor, but other than that, it's completely deserted and dark in here. Something interesting about the 3 Megabuildings with interiors is that the elevator is at a different level of functionality in each one. In H8, you can activate the panel and it looks like it's going to work, but then it freezes and it doesn't become active. Besides those things, it's just a lower detail copy of V's apartment building. All the doors are fake, there are no apartments behind any of them, and there's not really much else to see. Building H6 is kind of weird in that although the interior is really similar to the others, it doesn't have any static NPCs, but instead just has wandering NPCs that pass through the middle. Other than that, it's not very exciting compared to the other 2. There's no way to make the elevator stop at this floor, and it still has death barriers around it, so trying to manually go up and down floors to this level will still kill you. Let's compare these now to V's apartment building, H10, where there are all kinds of vendors, still non-functional, a bunch of NPCs walking around, everything's really well lit up. It's a lot more detailed, probably because they expect you to look out the elevator and actually pay attention to this one and see it more than once when playing the game. But it's interesting here, you can actually make the elevator fully functional, and there's a woman with a clipboard kind of looking at the keypad like she's gonna fix it, and I found that it was as simple as going in with City Hack and just unlocking the elevator, and then it worked fine. Now you can't go back to this floor, but you can go to the other floors that are accessible. All of the storefronts down here are fake, and if you open them up, there's nothing inside any of them except for the ones where you can see a little bit through a window. So if you want to roleplay being the owner of this junk shop, you can do that. But besides that, there's not a whole lot interesting behind these. There's definitely a lot going on this floor of V's apartment building, but it does definitely appear to be scenery just meant to be viewed from the elevator. There's not really anything you can interact with down here. To close out here, I want to talk about Megabuilding H4. Now, a lot of people have debated what story where zombies are inside a skyscraper this is a reference to. I'm personally on the camp of that it's the Judge Dredd story, Black Plague, where there was the Tutti Frutti Plague, and there was a series where it was like he was stuck inside a building, and I'm pretty sure it's a Judge Dredd reference, though also I totally could be any one of those. There are references to an avian flu within the game's lore, so it could be a combination of other things, but I'm just going to go with Judge Dredd. I love Judge Dredd. If you've never read any of the 2099 comics, there are numerous references to them in Cyberpunk 2077, and I highly recommend them just in general. So that closes it out for exploring all of our mega buildings, but I hope you enjoyed that and it answered any lingering questions you have about what's inside these things and how they differ. And I can grab more footage in the future if I have to, but hopefully this was the definitive mega building exploration. Thank you for watching Deconstructing the Game.